stimulus video. It's been a while and I have missed you guys so much. Welcome back. I'm so excited to get into stimulus because I do have some good news, and over the next few days, make sure and pay attention to this channel because I will have some good updates coming up. If you guys haven't seen it, I have been posting like yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before, I did tons of stuff about the election. And also guys, I know I've been a little bit inconsistent right now with the stimulus videos. I have a video that explains all of that. You can go check out, basically letting you guys know it's like I set my hair on fire. It talks about the haircut I got and the fact that I've just been really slow to upload, health issues, different things going on. So you can check that out if you want. But I'm very excited because we actually have a little bit of stimulus movement. Now you might think, what is she talking about? What signed? Nothing signed. I'm going to get into it. You guys know, at least my fan base who watches me know how I operate. If the government fails you, I'm going to do my best to try to come in and find whatever it is that you guys need as I can. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I want to help you guys get access to some money, which I'm going to do. Guys, I always forget this, so I'm going to make sure and put this in here. Make sure to support this channel, like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, hit notifications if you haven't yet so you can be notified what's coming on the pipeline for you and your stimulus money, election, or anything in between with politics. Also, leave a comment that helps us out and share this content with anybody that's struggling right now that you think this could benefit from who needs stimulus help or stimulus checks. Also, I give away $100 gift cards, and to be eligible, very simple, like I said, like the video, subscribe, hit notifications, comment, share the content, boom, you're eligible. The more times you comment, the more times you share, the more chances you have to win. So if you make 50 comments, you have 50 more chances to win than everybody else, and it helps the channel. Add me on Facebook, Katie's Insight, and join the group Katie's Corner. We're helping everybody with stimulus. Yay! Okay, let's go. But make sure if you haven't, I have been covering all of the election stuff. Now, I know there's a very popular opinion that I lean one way or the other. I really don't like any of these people. There are some things I lean left, some things I lean right. I have been breaking down for you what's going on with this election and honestly, what I'm seeing from the data and from my common sense. So make sure and go check out those videos, and I'm gonna have more of those as time goes on. But you know, I just wanna let you guys know, I mean no disrespect with anything that I say, any of my analysis, no disrespect to you or what you feel. Also, sound off in the comments. I straightened my hair for this one. The other one, it's curly. Let me know what you like better. I'm just curious because I'm playing around with it since I cut it. I love it. It's just 100 times easier to do. And while I am recovering from all the stuff that's happened, this will make it so much easier. So where are we at with stimulus? It's a big fat stand still, as most of you know. I'm going to have a couple videos coming out this weekend updating you guys on everything, but it's a mess. Pelosi is crumbling, which is always my favorite sight to see. Mitch McConnell said we're not going to have stimulus until sometime in 2021, and now he's saying before the election. And yet everything is at a standstill, and we don't know who our president is. And let me be very upfront with you. We're probably not going to know until January. I have a video. Go check out the video from earlier. I detail all of why, and I explain why we're not going to have anybody or have anything confirmed until January 2021. I break down the process, the timeline of what's happening there. So make sure and go check that out so you can understand. Here's the problem that we're going to run into. The problem is right now we're in what's called a lame duck session. That is that in-between time between picking a new president or having the same president stay, depending on what happens. So as a result, typically in this time period, nothing gets done. And that's the frustrating thing. So as we know with stimulus, even though Trump, he has threatened executive orders right now, we don't even know if he's going to stay in office. Now, from everything I've seen and all the data I've seen, please don't unsubscribe and be mad with me. I'm just reporting what I see. To me, it looks like he's won, and there's all kinds of shady stuff going on behind the scenes with the left. And you guys, if you've been watching my stimulus videos, you know I've been covering this almost for a year straight. Well, I got on here in May, but I've been looking at this since February, March for my other job. So it's almost been a year. Every single day I've been studying this and watching what's happened, watching how Nancy Pelosi, and I told you guys this, if you remember, I called it. She was trying to piecemeal for the post office, and I was calling her out on, you're not going to piecemeal for unemployment. You're not going to she was so strong on, she's not going to extend unemployment, not going to piecemeal anything. But she piecemealed for the post office. And I said, I think this is about swaying the election in the favor that she wants. And sure enough, that's what it's looking like as well. How interesting is it that right before the election, she tried to do some emergency action about the president's mental fitness, his fitness. She tried to pass legislation about that. And we all kind of speculated because some people thought that was just a slap in the face to Trump. And a lot of us, though, we were wondering, Or on the flip side, is that not really a slap in the face to Trump? Is that because you guys know you're going to do some shady stuff behind the scenes with the election, which we're seeing more and more evidence of, and it's getting kind of scary in that regard. At least that's what evidence is showing. Take that with a grain of salt, because I feel like nothing's confirmed, but how can you get anything confirmed when you have the media constantly lying to us and we don't get access to everything? There's just a lot of really, really weird stuff going on with all of that. So taking all of this into consideration, here's the problem when it comes to stimulus, right? When it comes to stimulus, unless Donald Trump finds a way to do executive orders, and let me be honest, I think that's almost a 0% chance right now. Unless something changes, I don't see that happening. He had been threatening and saying there was a theory he could do something. I don't think that's going to happen. If he was going to play that card, I think he would have played it before the election. And now his focus is going to be gathering lawyers across the country, which is what he is doing, gathering people to go on his behalf and fight the case in the Supreme Court when it comes to the polls, when it comes to all this voting stuff, when it comes to some of this fraud, and specifically in certain states, certain key states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Florida, Arizona, Nevada. So we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen there. But the thing is, this is where it screws us with stimulus. If he was going to pass something, he probably would have passed it before the election, because now all of his efforts are going to be focused there. Which I can understand, makes sense, right? I can understand why he would be in that position and say, okay, well, let's not do this right now. But if we don't know who the president is, and we still aren't sure yet 1,000% what's going on with the Senate and the House, can we really think that these people are going to get it together enough throughout November and some of December to pass legislation? No. Because unfortunately, the unfortunate, wonderful thing that came out of all of this is that both our favorite people, curmudgeon Mitch McConnell and Nasty Nance, were voted back in. Kentucky and California, we're all looking at you with side eye. I love y'all. Don't get it twisted. But seriously, what are y'all doing? Both are evil as all get out, and both are just HELL bent on not helping us in really much of a way. So what it would be, guys, we would have to rely on those two to get something done between now and then. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And unfortunately, we're not going to have a president until January. The recounts don't even happen until December, not to mention a legal process like he's gonna go through. This isn't something where you get it done in a week. It's not like you see on sitcoms or like television shows. It's a long process, even if it's expedited because it's the president, even if it's at the Supreme Court. So we're not gonna know for a while. And all that means is that we just keep getting screwed and screwed and screwed. And that's the unfortunate part of where we're at when it comes to deciding the presidency. So until we know, we're not going to have anything. And at this point, I don't trust any of them, either party, to do it. Trump has been really pushing for us, but his focus is going to be about CYA, covering his American assets in where he's at, right? And in that regard, I can't disagree with him. I think the other thing that, I'll just throw this out there that's really, really upsetting to me is I feel like what's going on, this is an affront to our democracy. I would be upset if I saw that there was voter fraud, if I saw it on the side of Republicans too. And by the way, like back in the day, I don't know if you guys are, well, I was going to say you guys, because I don't think you guys remember this, you're too young. I forget my audience is full of boomers. Boomer love, hi boomers! And then we also have those like me. Am I a millennial? A Gen Xer? Born in 84. Sound off in the comments which one I am, because I feel like I'm kind of like right on the line. But anyways, if you guys remember, we had something similar happen with Bush Gore. Y'all remember that? Back in the day, back in like 2000, there was a big issue and Gore was going to contest it and this, that, and the other, but then Gore ended up, backing down. But there were issues there, and there were voter fraud issues coming out. And I can already hear the comments. Look, I understand, guys. Voter fraud is going to happen on both sides across the board to some extent. And some is to be expected. I'm not saying I'm okay with it. I'm just saying, right? Like there's always going to be some BS, but we're seeing it on bigger and bigger and bigger scales in ways that are really inappropriate. And I'm worried. I'm worried because you guys know I've been saying this for a long time. I feel like on social media, the medias have brainwashed us over the last 10 years to fight with one another, to hate one another, to be so upset with each other if we disagree. And it's it's really upsetting because I'm seeing people who either don't believe the fraud is real, or I'm seeing people who are defending that, oh, well, I don't think anybody should be okay with it on either side. I don't care what side you're on, because anything is an attack to our democracy. And that's something I always want to try to protect: democracy and human decency. And I feel like both things have just gone up in flames, unfortunately. It is what it is, and I hope we have the right people behind the scenes helping the situation. Again, it's not about that. I'm not even saying whether or not I care who wins. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm saying I'm concerned for our country, period. That's it. I'm concerned for our country, period. I think I'll go into this a little bit more in detail on another video at some point, but you guys came here because you want to know about stimulus, and I want to give you stimulus news. So where are we at? Right now, it's nothing. And because we don't even know who the president is, I will tell you, I think at the earliest, meaning probably not, we're looking at late January, sometime in February, maybe even March. Not because I want that, not at all because that's what I want to happen, but that's what I'm seeing. So what are we going to do in the meantime? We're going to figure out ways around this, and my channel is going to help you. So how can I say that I don't know what's going to happen with stimulus and then all this, and then I say stimulus passed? Well, the states are starting to step up to help people. And I think we're going to start to see more of this. They're going to be spending their CARES Act money on different things to step up and help people. And I have new information on that. And I'm sorry, this info is coming out a little bit late because of all the stuff going on with me. Again, go check out that video so you can see in detail what that is. But I want to go ahead and go over this with you guys. So now we have Orange County, Florida. They are giving $1,000 stimulus checks to their people, and I'm getting more and more reports across the country of places doing this. So guys, make sure and stay tuned because I'm going to try to cover as many areas as possible where you can get some money and some help. So if you are in Florida, make sure and listen up, or make sure and share this with people that you know that are in Florida, if you have family or people connected there that this can help. And this is from Orange County, and Orange County, Florida has done this before with their people. So let me go over the information with you guys, and this is from clickorlando.com. It says Orange County has more $1,000 CARES Act grants to give families and individuals in need. Applications can be submitted on November 4th at 8 a.m. This is now November 6th, so make sure and go as quick as you can. A lot of times with these types of things, the name of the game is doing it as quick as you can, but even if you didn't get it the first day or the first hour, it doesn't matter. Go and submit an application because you never know what type of funding frees up and you could get some money fall into your lap at some point. So here we go. Orange County, Florida. Orange County still has more money to allocate from the pandemic funds distributed to local governments from the federal CARES Act. Like I said, CARES Act money. The county received $243.2 million in CARES Act or virus relief funding this spring, and set aside $60 million to help families and $72.9 million to help businesses through grants. This is very good, guys. Families and individuals who have been impacted by the virus pandemic can apply for $1,000 grants through the county website. Since county workers began distributing $1,000 grants this summer, they have sent or are in the process of sending payments to 34,000 people or families, Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings said. The county government will again open the application portal on Wednesday, November 4th at 8 a.m., and it will remain open for 15,000 users. As of right now, you can still go, so go. Demings stressed that people who apply do not have to be unemployed, but do have to show they have been impacted by the pandemic in some way. The grants are also not just for low-income households. Diane Arnold, a manager with Orange County government, said the county has sent the comptroller's office $35 million for 35,000 payments. Checks have already been sent out totaling $34 million. Arnold said the processing time depends on the application, but since October, they've been able to approve and send out payments within 1 month after the application. So this could come fairly quick, guys. It all kind of depends if there's an issue with it or not. We get a lot of applications, just to give you an example, that are for the address, that the address doesn't automatically verify in the system as an Orange County address, which means we have to do a manual process since one of the requirements is to be an Orange County resident, Arnold said. But in general, our goal is to get payments out within a month. Deming said 11.7 million remains for the county eviction diversion program. So they have an eviction program too. Those applications are still open until December 30th. He said 1,038 families has been helped by the program, totaling 3.2 million in CARES Act funding. The county set aside 20 million for the program. Applications and instructions on how to apply can be found at, so listen up, OCFL. So it looks like so O is in orange, C is in county, FL is in Florida.net/orange cares. So let's go there right now, and I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of what the website looks like. So it says information. As part of the Federal CARES Act, Orange County government has received $243.2 million in virus relief funds. These funds will be distributed back into the community and used for local government expenses related to the response to the virus. Orange County government has created 4 funding categories and 1 replenishment category to ensure that these funds are able to meet immediate and personal needs of residents, business owners, nonprofits, municipal, and community partners. So then there's a funding breakdown. Small business financial assistance, $72.9 million. So there's 30% goes to that. Social services and community needs, $95.4 million. Orange County public safety and health expenditures, 54.1. Where is my brain? 54.1 million. Municipality and constitutional officer expenditures, 15 million, and Orange County virus eviction diversion program. So that's going to be the eviction. So guys, you're going to want to make sure and take a look at this, and you're going to want to submit multiple applications depending on where you stand. So if your business needs help, and that can even be if you're an independent contractor, a side hustle, make sure and apply for the small business financial assistance. And then, as well, if you need the stimulus check, and then the eviction. So make sure and check each, because I don't know if it's going to be, I'll have to look if it's just one application or several, but make sure that you enter in whatever you need to for all these programs. And then it says additional 9.2 million to come from the state CARES CRF dollars for a total program cost of 15 million. That's for the eviction program. So yeah, okay, so I'm looking right here on under funding categories. It says virus eviction diversion program, and you can apply for that. And then for residents, for bill assistance, like it says rent, mortgage assistance, utility bill assistance, medical bill assistance. There's one for that. And as well as for small businesses. And if you have any questions about this program, you can call 407-836-3111. And remember, it's best if there is a way in their system, and you can even call and ask about what's the easiest or quickest solution to make sure that they can verify your address. Because again, with a lot of this stuff, the early bird is going to get the worm. But it also looks like not a lot of people have been doing the eviction diversion program. So make sure and capitalize on that. And I can already hear some disappointment. I have more information for you guys across the country and other places. So make sure and stay tuned. But this is the one I wanted to update you with, at least to begin with. Now, here's what I want you to do, because not everybody lives in Orange County, Florida. Most people think, and I've gone back and forth with people on this. Most people think stimulus only refers to federal stimulus, and it doesn't. Even though stimulus, yes, has come from the federal government, it has now it's gone to the states, because a large portion of it from the CARES Act was set aside for the states. And many of the states have all these unspent funds because they thought they were going to get more funding, and everybody's kind of like, what's going on? They didn't know they're going to be waiting a year, but they know that their people and their residents need help. So with that being said, here's what they are doing. At least this is what it looks like to me. So from looking at all of this, what you can do is you can look up by your city, by your county, and by your state. And that's what I would do. Look up stimulus checks, look up eviction help. So for instance, I'm in Oklahoma City, so I would look up stimulus checks Oklahoma City, or stimulus checks by state, Oklahoma City. Or I would look up stimulus checks Oklahoma issuing stimulus checks. Do different searches, or even my county. So I would do it by my county as well, and look and see what programs that they have, and you will be amazed at how many programs there are to help people. Now, some of them are tapped out, but right now there's a big push in many states to go ahead and get some of that back up and running, because people need help. So even if you're like, well, I did all that and there was nothing, or they ran out of money, keep checking. I would check a couple times a week, especially if you're on unemployment. You got nothing else to do. No disrespect to you. I've been on unemployment. That is not a diss. But in this situation, make sure, check every single day and check and see what you can do and where you can get money. Another thing a lot of people don't know is that you don't just have to get grants for your business or loans from the SBA. There are all different types of grant programs out there. In fact, I had looked it up in Oklahoma City and there was a ton of stuff, even stuff for artists in Oklahoma City, things that happen in the city or within the state. So one thing you can do as well, and I've always talked about this, go to grants.gov. Grants.gov, tons of federal grants that you can get for your business and very specific niches. So if you're minority owned, if you're women, if you're a veteran, if let's say you're a business that focuses on people who might have disabilities, like they have all different types of things and so many people don't know. So make sure and go get access to that, but really look up and see what your state is doing. Another one, I've said this before. Now, a lot of companies are not being as nice about this as they were in the beginning, but make sure when it comes to your bills, make a list of your bills, call your bill providers, and a lot of them have programs to help you. Some of them don't anymore because the situation has gone on too long. Like in the beginning, Sprint allowed it so I didn't have to pay for 3 months. And then they got real big on needing their money back and no extensions. But especially utility companies, things like that, they're a lot of times going to have some emergency money set aside a lot of people don't know about. Call and see with your bills what programs, what kind of deferral programs they have to help you out in your area. Now, I want to go on to a couple other things so you guys know about where some more money can be coming from. So I went over this before, but I want to go over it again. Colorado was also helping their residents. So I'm going to go over this quickly. It says, in lieu of federal stimulus action, Colorado will send one-time $375 stimulus payments to 435,000 people. In all, more than $163 million is expected to be distributed by the state. The move comes after Governor Jared Polis issued mandatory unpaid furloughs for most state employees to save $8 million. Colorado will send roughly 435,000 people a one-time stimulus payment of $375 as a way to help them weather the effects of the virus crisis in lieu of the additional federal aid. Now, guys, if you are one of these people, or if you're in the state of Colorado, check your mail and check it thoroughly, because when they had stimulus checks, if you remember, there was a big issue because when they sent out stimulus checks or when they sent out those EIP card, the stimulus payment cards from before, those cards that they sent out, it looked like junk mail, and a lot of people threw them away and then had to spend like $18 to replace the card. It was insane. So make sure and check your mail thoroughly. Check even all your junk mail at this point and see what happens and what comes up. In all, more than $163 million is expected to be distributed by the state. Washington, D.C. has failed to provide additional direct cash support for hardworking Coloradans and to further stimulate the economy. So today, Colorado is boldly doing our part to help our own, Governor Jared Polis said in a written statement. The money will be sent out in early December, according to the governor's office, so make sure and check for these in December. Polis signed an executive order making the payments possible and announced the action on Wednesday afternoon, less than a week before the election day. Coloradans eligible for the payments include anyone who received at least $1 in unemployment compensation between March 15th and October 24th, and were eligible for a weekly jobless benefit between $25 and $500 during that period. Okay, I want to read this again because this is what it says. The people who are eligible for this has to do with unemployment. Coloradans eligible for the payments include anyone who received at least $1 in unemployment compensation between March and October, and were eligible for a weekly jobless benefit. And I think that's the stimulus, I think, when they say that, between $25 and $500 during that period. So listen up if you're on unemployment. The Colorado Department of Labor and Employment estimates that 65% of all unemployment claimants since March 15th will receive the payments. The aid is only expected to be given to people who are or were earning less than $52,000 a year. The governor's office says the payments will be funded by $148.9 million in unspent Medicaid dollars, $13.8 million from Colorado's Disaster Emergency Fund, and $5.3 million from the state's Control Maintenance Trust Fund. So much Medicaid money was available in Colorado because the state overestimated enrollment in the insurance program for low-income people. The state's controlled maintenance trust fund is part of Colorado's emergency funding service. So it looks like this money that they're getting is coming from overpayment with Medicaid, which, nice, help as many people as you can, right? This move comes after Polis issued mandatory unpaid furloughs for most state employees to save $8 million. And as Democratic lawmakers warn voters against supporting an income tax cut on the 2020 ballot because the state needs the money to fund essential government services. To pay for the stimulus checks, Polis tapped accounts that are part of the state's reserve, which is well below what is needed to weather the current economic storm. The stimulus plan was developed with aid from Democratic state lawmakers. They were celebrating the news on social media Wednesday afternoon. It's not clear if Polis consulted, on the plan with state House Republicans, who are in the minority. They were not included in the stimulus rollout. The governor did not consult with the Joint Budget Committee when it came to dispersing federal CARES Act funding. He did not seek input from our rural communities when it came to his virus orders. And it seems he had no interest in seeking minority party input this time around. Sage Nauman, spokesman for the Colorado Senate GOP, said, Congress has not passed virus aid legislation since March when it approved the CARES Act. The $2.2 trillion stimulus bill included loans for small businesses, extra unemployment benefits, my body. You guys know my body acts up. For people who lost their jobs and help for the economically ailing state and local governments. The CARES Act also provided direct stimulus checks to Americans of up to $1,200 for those making less than $99,000 a year. It also provides an extra $600 per week to anyone on unemployment. That pandemic unemployment benefit ended July 25th. Polis's office says the stimulus payments piggyback on President Donald Trump's LWA, Lost Wage Assistance Program, which provides some out-of-work Coloradans an extra $300 per week in unemployment benefits. It ended on September 5th. Colorado can and should act now to help the hardworking people who will help lead us out of this challenging time. And that's what we're doing today, the governor said in a written statement. The one-time $375 payment from the Polis administration is slightly more than the Lost Wage Assistance Program bonus paid to those people who are on unemployment. As you guys know, that is long run out. More than 240,000 Coloradans benefited from the LWA program and received about $371.5 million. According to the state labor department, people on unemployment do not need to do anything to receive the one-time payment from the state in December. Those eligible will get an email or phone call from the labor department. To speed up the distribution process, however, they can make sure their addresses and selected payment method is up to date. More than 750,000 Coloradans have applied for unemployment benefits since March. There are currently 217,974 receiving weekly unemployment benefits. Last month, the state's unemployment rate was at 6.4%. Housing advocates celebrated the news on Wednesday. For people who are struggling to pay their rent and put food on the table, cash assistance is essential and incredibly helpful, says Sam Gilman, co-founder of the Virus Eviction Defense Project, which has provided assistance and legal advice to tenants facing evictions in Colorado since March. We need consistent cash and assistance, and perhaps only the federal government can provide that. But it's important, and I appreciate seeing the state do what it can do at the moment. So again, I'm just letting you know, all of a sudden there are going to be random payments coming out places. So check by your state and by your city if you are unemployment, if you are not. Either way, make sure and check. And then there's one more thing I do want to go over because Maryland is also issuing something too. So this is from the Washington Post. With federal stimulus talks dragging, Maryland governor announces $250 million package for small businesses. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan announced $250 million of state cash Thursday to provide grants and some loans to restaurants, small businesses, closed entertainment venues, and struggling arts organizations. As federal stimulus talks drag on in Congress, that's an understatement, Hogan announced he would use about half of the state's budget savings from last year to expand existing programs and fund new ones to help small businesses struggling because of the economic downturn caused by the virus pandemic. The sum roughly doubles what the state already pumped into similar programs. It's a desperate situation, Hogan said. Many businesses, they're hanging on by a thread. They may not make it another month or two. Requests for help from Maryland's small businesses have far outpaced resources, even with about $10 billion of aid from federal Paycheck Protection Program going to 81,000 businesses in the state, the government said. So it looks like they're helping businesses and doing their own forms of PPP, which is fantastic. In 2 weeks in late March and early April, nearly 20,000 small businesses applied for aid throughout the Maryland Small Business Virus Relief Grant Fund, prompting the state to close the application window and start a waiting list that remains. About 4,000 applications were approved before the state ran out of money. Hogan put $45 million more into the program in July. He announced Thursday that a new infusion of $50 million will clear the backlog of businesses that qualified and have been waiting since the spring. So if you've been waiting in the state of Maryland, make sure and check this because it looks like that money could be coming soon. It says it was not clear Thursday whether the state will accept new applications. The largest share of new funding announced Thursday, $100 million, will go to what Hogan calls the Emergency Rapid Response Fund for small businesses. He said the money will be set aside until the administration determines how it can best be used. If federal aid arrives before the end of the year, the rapid response money might not be used, he said. Comptroller Peter Francho, a frequent Hogan ally, had been publicly pressuring the governor to spend $500 million on direct aid to small businesses. His spokeswoman, Susan O'Brien, said Friday that spending $150 million in relief for tens of thousands of small businesses in Maryland is not nearly enough, and leaving $100 million for an emergency rapid release fund is empty rhetoric. A new program will provide $50 million in grants for the state's roughly 11,500 restaurants, which amounts, on average, to $434 per business. The money will not have to be repaid, and it can be used on a variety of expenses, such as expanding outdoor dining, paying rent, upgrading technology to improve carry-out business, or buying personal protective equipment. Local governments will distribute the money to businesses that qualify and determine how much each will receive. The state initially had expected enormous budget deficits for the fiscal year that ended June 30th because of pandemic-related shutdowns. But the multi-billion-dollar infusion from the first waves of federal help plus belt tightening in Maryland's budget left the state with $500 million more than expected. Another existing program that helps small businesses avoid layoffs will be expanded by between $10 million and $30 million, with the money supplementing employee income and financing telework operations so employees can stay on the job. Smaller initiatives are aimed at keeping hard-hit businesses afloat, including $20 million for local entertainment and Main Street small businesses, $5 million in low-interest loans for disadvantaged entrepreneurs, $3 million to arts organizations and artists, and $2 million to promote hometown tourism by marketing local stores, businesses, and attractions. We're hoping these are the right things, and then it will be enough. But we really don't know, Hogan said, adding that what the state's economy needs most is a major stimulus package from the federal government. Amen? The governor said, contact tracing data shows that the top source of the virus infections continues to be small family gatherings and house parties. He said the state is closely watching a slight uptick in hospitalizations over the past 2 weeks, urging people to stick to proven strategies of mask wearing and social distancing. The Greater Washington region on Thursday recorded 2,114 new virus cases, and this is a little bit old, so it's probably more because we know stuff is going up so far. The great thing is, even though the cases are going up, deaths are going down and people aren't dying as much from it, which is great. I mean, we don't want anybody being sick, period, but this is good news. And so then it talks about the caseloads, and it says, despite the daily increase, the regional rolling 7-day average of new infections stood at 1,709 cases, holding mostly steady for more than a week. Maryland's daily average has risen through October, standing Thursday at 633 cases, the state's highest since September 17th. The pandemic's economic fallout was evident Thursday, when figures from the U.S. Labor Department showed over almost 26,000 new unemployment claims were filed last week. And again, this is a little bit backdated, so that wasn't from this past week. But that's what you can do, guys, and I want you guys to keep an eye on Maryland. So they're doing a $250 million package for small businesses, kind of their own type of PPP. So there isn't any information on what to do yet or where to apply, but if you are there, stay tuned because that is going to be coming down the pipeline if it's not there already. So let's go ahead and backtrack. We have Colorado. So we have Colorado is helping with a one-time payment of $375 to people. Orange County, Florida, you can go ahead and get a $1,000 CARES Act grant, but you have to apply. But you also have to apply if you need rent assistance or business help. And I have links in the description, so make sure and go check that out so you can see where that is. And then we have Larry Hogan of Maryland. And I know I've already said this, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, it's just that I really care about you guys. If you are struggling, look up by your city and your state. And also guys, if you have information, make sure and go to Katie's Insight. That's my page, like the page, but the group is Katie's Corner. It'll be changed to Katie's Insight soon. Go in there and share information if there's something going on in your city, in your county, in your state, or you hear about it from other places, and share that info so we can all help each other. That's a group I have where we're helping each other with stimulus and politics and everything else in between. So make sure and go there and we can share information and you can keep up to date with what's going on around your state. Because I think at this point, until the things get settled down with the election, we're gonna have to really get creative and try to find ways around this on our own, because I don't see any other way of this being helped. Nancy Pelosi has already just really said she is not going to piecemeal to help us whatsoever. So I don't think we can expect any help from these horrible, corrupt people. And I'm just gonna say it again. Out of all of this, I mean, I think a lot of us who've been following the situation, I think we knew with the election, something like this was coming, right? I don't think that's lost on anybody. I think we knew there's probably gonna be some shadiness afoot on either side. I'm really, really disappointed that once again, Nancy and Mitch are back in office, because it's just less we are going to have in terms of help and people on our side. I don't understand how they can sleep at night with them knowing how many years and decades they've been in office and how little they've got done for the American people and much we're suffering, and they just don't care. They don't care on both sides. As I've said before, they have made a mockery of our system and of both parties so much that it makes Trump look like the good guy in the situation. And considering how hated he is by so many people in the media, it just makes me laugh. I'm like, you guys are so evil. You're so evil at the top. Both parties are so evil. You make Trump look good. And as I've said before, I think that's why Trump had or has a good shot of winning. This next 2 months is gonna be nuts, y'all. It's gonna be nuts. So make sure and stay tuned. If you haven't already, guys, please support my channel and make sure and like this video. Like my video, subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit notifications if you haven't yet so you can be notified what's coming to the pipeline for you and your stimulus money. Also, comment, sound off. I would like to hear everything you have to say about this, guys. And guys, please share this content with anybody you know that's struggling, people on unemployment, waiting for unemployment, stimulus checks, SBA loan and grant issues, bill issues, anything in between, or people who need help from their state. Please share this content because I get tons of tools and resources to help people, and I would love to help them through this difficult time. Of course, my body's gonna start attacking me now. And guys, the more you like, subscribe, comment, hit notifications, share the content, the more my channel grows, the more things I can do to give back to you guys. And you know I routinely give out $100 gift cards. So here's what I'm going to do. Later this week, I will be giving one out, but typically I will announce them on Monday. To be eligible for one, to be eligible to win, it's simple. This is all you have to do. Like every video you see, subscribe if you haven't, hit notifications if you haven't yet, comment, and share the content. And the more times you share the content and the more times you comment, the more chances you have to be eligible. So make sure and do that. Comment. You want to leave 50 comments? You have 50 chances to win. Even more so. So yay, good luck, and it all helps the channel. The more this channel grows, the more I can give back to you guys. Also, like I said, join the Facebook page, Katie's Insight, like the page. The group right now is Katie's Corner. Will be changed to Katie's Insight soon. Go in there, we'll share information. We have a great time, and I would love to see you there. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end this video now. I have more coming on the pipeline. We have stimulus checks coming from the Fed. Make sure and watch that video. And any video that I've put up recently. Okay, guys, take care, blessings. I love you so much. I will see you soon. I'm gonna do everything I can to help you guys in any way possible while all these clowns fail us. Mwah! Take care, bye.